I always told him that, if this is, what you want, there's a price to pay.
Have you had the chance to congratulate?
We haven't spoken yet.
Yeah, that sounded personal. Usher is clapping back at Justin, and it's getting real messy. If you've been online lately, you probably saw the drama. Bieber unfollowed Usher on IG, and just like that, the bromance hit a wall. And now, the silence between them is louder than ever. So what really went down? Why did Justin cut ties with the guy who basically helped launch his career? And what does Diddy have to do with any of this? Let's get into it, because this story's messier than anyone expected. The mentor and the protege, a relationship unraveled. It's 2008, and a young, talented kid with a mop of hair and a voice that could melt hearts is about to be discovered by the world. Justin Bieber, just 14 years old, is signed to RBMG Records, a label co-founded by none other than R&B superstar Usher Raymond IV and talent manager Scooter Braun. This moment marked the beginning of a significant mentor-mentee relationship, with Usher taking on the role of a guiding figure in Bieber's meteoric rise to fame. Fast forward to today, and what was once a close bond appears to be crumbling before our eyes. Recent reports suggest that Justin Bieber has distanced himself from Usher, unfollowing him on Instagram in early 2025, sparking widespread speculation about a potential rift between the two music icons. This social media move coincided with Bieber cutting ties with other figures from his past, including former manager Scooter Braun and songwriter Pooh Bear, suggesting a broader reevaluation of relationships in Bieber's life. The timing couldn't be more suspicious, as this apparent fallout comes amid serious legal troubles surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, a music mogul with deep connections to both artists. Diddy, currently facing numerous allegations including sex trafficking and racketeering, was once a mentor to Usher, and later became involved in Bieber's early career through Usher's introduction. As these allegations against Diddy dominate headlines, many are questioning whether they've played a role in the apparent distancing between Justin and Usher. Let's rewind and explore how this relationship began. When Usher first encountered a young Justin Bieber, the R&B star was already an established name in the music industry. In a revealing interview, Usher recounted their first meeting at Jermaine Dupri's studio, where Bieber eagerly approached him to showcase his talent.
It was at the studio of Jermaine Dupri's. I said, why don't you set up a meeting between me and your manager? I'd love to meet with you and do this in a formal setting. I'm late for an appointment with Jermaine Dupri,
right? And
I don't want to keep him waiting. Let's just do this the right way.
And then you have him come to audition for you, right?
Actually, there were a few people. My wife at the time.
Right.
It also was Perry Reed, L.A. Reid's first wife.
That initial encounter sparked what would become a formative relationship in Bieber's career. Usher, impressed by the young talent's potential, took him under his wing, often describing Bieber as a little brother and expressing pride in his growth as both an artist and a person. In a 2014 interview, Usher expressed his affection for Bieber, simply stating, "I love the kid," highlighting their close bond that extended beyond mere professional collaboration. Their relationship wasn't just about business, it was personal. Usher played a crucial role in guiding Bieber through the treacherous waters of fame at a young age, something Usher understood all too well from his own experiences. Their musical collaboration peaked with the 2010 track Somebody to Love from Bieber's debut album, My World 2.0, a testament to their professional synergy. But what could have caused such a seemingly solid relationship to fracture? The answer might lie in the complex web of connections involving Sean Diddy Combs, a figure who has loomed large in both Usher's and Bieber's careers. Usher himself lived with Diddy during his early career as part of what was known as the Puffy Flavor Camp, where young artists were mentored by the hip-hop mogul. In a 2016 interview on The Howard Stern Show, Usher described his time at Diddy's house as wild and very curious, though he emphasized that he did not indulge in what he saw and denied claims of orgies. Notably, Usher added that he would not let his own children stay in such an environment, perhaps a telling statement about his retrospective view of that period. Similarly, Diddy became involved in Bieber's life shortly after his rise to fame, with interactions that have since become controversial in light of recent allegations. A particularly notable example is a 2009 video where Diddy announced that Bieber would spend 48 hours with Diddy, describing it as a 15-year-old's dream.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
This video, which has resurfaced amid Diddy's legal troubles, shows Diddy asking Bieber what he wanted to do during their time together, to which the teenage star responded, "Let's go get some girls," with Diddy replying, "A man after my own heart." These interactions, while seemingly innocuous at the time, have come under scrutiny given Diddy's current legal situation. Fast forward to September 2024, when Dawn Richard, a former member of Danity Kane, filed a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging sexual misconduct and other offenses. In her lawsuit, Richard claimed she witnessed Diddy physically attacking his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura on multiple occasions, including an incident in 2010 where Diddy allegedly punched Cassie in the stomach during a dinner meeting. Notably, Richard claimed that Usher was present at this dinner, alongside Jimmy Iovine and Ne-Yo, potentially placing Usher as a witness to alleged abuse. As these allegations against Diddy continue to mount, with charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution, both Usher and Bieber find themselves indirectly linked to a figure facing serious criminal accusations. Diddy's legal troubles began surfacing in November 2023 with a lawsuit from his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, escalating to his indictment in September 2024. As of April 2025, Diddy remains in custody, with his trial scheduled for May 2025, and he has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The controversies have reignited interest in Diddy's relationships with young artists, particularly Bieber. A viral AI-generated song on TikTok with lyrics like "Lost myself at a Diddy party" has fueled speculation, alongside Bieber's own song "Lonely" 2021, which includes lines like "Everybody saw me sick and it felt like no one gave a," interpreted by some as referencing his struggles during his early career. Adding fuel to the fire are unverified allegations from Suge Knight, a former Death Row Records CEO, who has claimed that Diddy molested both Bieber and Usher. Knight alleged that Diddy sent Bieber on romantic vacations with older men and that Usher shared a bed with Diddy during a music project. It's important to note that these claims lack substantiation and come from a controversial figure. Despite the apparent tension, Bieber has shown public support for Usher in the past, attending his Super Bowl LV8 halftime show performance in February 2024 and posting on Instagram, "Love you, my brother," suggesting their relationship is more complex than a simple falling out. The question remains, has Justin Bieber truly turned his back on Usher? And if so, what does that mean for both artists and the legacy of their once close relationship? But that's not where the speculation ends. Many believe Diddy played a deeper role in both pop stars' lives, influencing their behavior and shaping the paths they eventually spiraled down. The Diddy effect: how the mogul influenced music's bad boys. The Diddy influence is giving major red flags when we look at both artists' careers. This man's fingerprints are all over their most problematic eras, and the internet has been connecting the dots like a true crime podcast. Let's break it down and get into the receipts. Diddy's impact on both stars began during their most formative years. For Usher, this meant living with Diddy at just 14 years old in what was called the Puffy Flavor Camp, an arrangement that now raises serious eyebrows. As Usher himself admitted to Howard Stern in 2016, the environment at Diddy's house was wild and very curious.
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
Come on.
But hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Usher later stated he would not let my kids stay at Puffy Camp, suggesting he recognized the environment was inappropriate for young people. For Justin Bieber, the Diddy connection came through Usher, creating what some are calling a pipeline of problematic influence. In that infamous 2009 video that's now going viral for all the wrong reasons, Diddy makes comments about having custody of the then 15-year-old Bieber that have taken on a much darker tone in light of current allegations.
I'm signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
The vibe check on these comments is absolutely off now that we know more about the allegations against Diddy. Many are questioning whether this early exposure to Diddy's world influenced both stars' most problematic behaviors and controversies that would follow in the years to come. Singer Jaguar Wright has been sounding the alarm, claiming that Usher helped Diddy gain control over a young Justin Bieber.
The way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. and then he sent him to the diddler.
According to Wright, Usher facilitated Diddy's access to Bieber, potentially exposing him to harmful situations. While these claims remain unproven, they've added another layer to the ongoing conversation about responsibility and influence in these relationships. Let's deep dive into Usher's most controversial moments, many of which came after his time in Diddy's orbit. The biggest scandal that had everyone talking was undoubtedly the herpes lawsuit saga that dominated headlines between 2017 and 2019. Multiple individuals accused Usher of knowingly exposing them to herpes without disclosure, leading to a series of legal actions. Laura Helm, one plaintiff, initially sought $10 million, later raising it to $20 million after testing positive for herpes simplex 2. Another accuser, Quantasia Sharpton, claimed sexual contact after an Usher concert but tested negative. Court documents from 2012, leaked in 2017, revealed Usher was diagnosed with herpes in 2009 or 2010 and had settled a previous lawsuit for $1.10 million with a woman he allegedly infected. The drama reached its peak when Helm's lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice on May 3, 2019, following what was described as an amicable resolution, widely presumed to involve a financial settlement. This dismissal meant the case could not be refiled, effectively concluding the legal battle, but the damage to Usher's reputation was already done. During this period, Usher separated from his wife, Grace Miguel, in 2018 after just 2 years of marriage. The tea doesn't stop there. Usher's personal life drama became public fodder following his breakup with TLC's Chili in 2003 and the subsequent release of his album Confessions in 2004. The album's lyrics, with lines like "My chick on the side said she got one on the way," led many fans to assume Usher was confessing to cheating, though Chili later denied these claims in 2013, calling it a real love. The controversy surrounding their relationship and the album's content contributed significantly to Usher's bad boy image. In the political arena, Usher faced backlash in 2014 for posting support for Israel on Instagram during the Israel-Palestine conflict, a post he later deleted. His silence on the issue since then has been interpreted in various ways, and the controversy resurfaced during his 2024 Super Bowl performance, with some critics labeling him a Zionist. Perhaps one of the most bizarre controversies was the 2021 Ush Bucks incident, where Usher was criticized for throwing fake money, dubbed Ush Bucks, at an exotic dancer during a club visit. The dancer's resource Instagram page posted a message from a dancer calling Usher's actions a level of efkery, describing it as so disrespectful and so foul. Usher later explained to Billboard that the fake money was part of a promotional stunt for his Las Vegas residency, but the damage was already done. Usher's 2024 Super Bowl halftime show performance also stirred controversy due to his past refusal to perform in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, who was blackballed by the NFL for his civil rights activism. In 2017 and following years, several black artists, including Rihanna, Cardi B, and Andre 3000, refused to perform at the Super Bowl to show solidarity with Kaepernick. Usher was among those who initially boycotted, but later accepted the 2024 invitation, leading critics to question his principles. Most recently, following Diddy's arrest on sex trafficking charges in September 2024, Usher's X account was wiped clean of thousands of posts. Though he later claimed his account was hacked, the timing raised eyebrows across social media, with many speculating he was trying to distance himself from his connections to Diddy. Justin Bieber's journey from teen idol to troubled young adult has been extensively documented, with many now questioning whether his early exposure to Diddy's influence set him on a problematic path. The receipts on Bieber's bad behavior are numerous and well documented. One of the earliest signs of trouble came during her 2010 guest appearance on CSI. Marg Helgenberger, a main cast member, described the then 16-year-old Bieber as kind of a brat to non-celebrity staff, alleging he locked a producer in a closet and put his fist through a cake on the craft services table.
Honestly, he was lovely to me. I think some of the crew had some issues with him, but you know they should talk about that, not me.
This behavior, occurring just a year after his documented time with Diddy, marked the beginning of what would become a pattern of problematic conduct. By 2014, Bieber's behavior had escalated dramatically. A particularly disturbing incident occurred on a private jet from Waterloo, Ontario to Teterboro, New Jersey. According to an airline incident report obtained by NBC News, Bieber and his entourage were described as extremely abusive to staff, with verbal abuse so severe that a flight attendant refused to work another flight with them. The report also noted that pilots wore oxygen masks due to marijuana smoke in the cabin, and the captain requested the flight attendant stay near the cockpit to avoid further abuse from Bieber. Bieber's troubled period reached its peak around 2016 to 2017, as he later admitted in a 2021 GQ profile. He described this time as filled with a lot of doing drugs and being posted up, with security guards checking his pulse at night to ensure he was alive. "I was surrounded by a lot of people, and we were all kind of just escaping our real life," Bieber revealed. "I think we just weren't living in reality." He described using using drugs as a numbing agent to cope with unresolved issues, feeling sad and in pain despite his success. This low point culminated in 2017 when Bieber canceled the final dates of his world tour, despite the significant financial implications. As he put it, "I was just going to die. My security was coming into the room at night to check my pulse. People don't know how serious it got. It was legit crazy scary." In 2025, Bieber's behavior has sparked renewed concern among fans, particularly after videos showed him swaying uncontrollably at his wife Hailey Bieber's Rhode skincare pop-up event in Los Angeles. This led to speculation about drug use, which his representative denied, stating he's drug-free and in a transformative phase, focusing on supporting Hailey and their son, Jack Blues, born in August 2024. Despite this denial, Bieber has been sharing cryptic Instagram posts, including one smoking from a bong, which drew criticism but also defiance from the star, with messages like, "We have nothing to prove today." Sources close to Hailey have expressed concern, noting she's really concerned and unsure how to manage his behavior, suggesting ongoing struggles. Adding to the drama, Bieber's longtime assistant, Mateo Caldas, was the subject of conflicting reports in early 2025. While some outlets reported he had quit to pursue acting, TMZ clarified that Caldas was actually fired by Bieber in September 2020, contradicting claims of a recent voluntary exit. This comes amid reports of Bieber making major changes to his inner circle, including cutting ties with manager Scooter Braun and others. Looking at the timelines of both Usher and Justin's most problematic behaviors, internet sleuths and media analysts are noticing disturbing patterns. Both artists exhibited their most concerning behaviors after significant exposure to Diddy, raising questions about the influence of his mentorship on their development. The fallout between these once close collaborators raises bigger questions about accountability, influence, and the darker undercurrents of the music industry. But what's caught even more attention is their silence. Neither Usher nor Justin has said a word about the Diddy allegations, and people are starting to notice. Breaking silence, the aftermath and implications. Justin Bieber's silence on the Diddy allegations is absolutely deafening. While he hasn't directly addressed the scandal, his actions, particularly unfollowing Usher on social media, are speaking volumes. This isn't just your typical Instagram drama. It's giving serious cutting ties with the past energy that has everyone in the comments going wild with theories. Bieber's increasingly private lifestyle, especially since becoming a father in August 2024, makes his social media moves all the more significant. According to an inside source who spilled to Us Weekly, Bieber is in a hard place mentally, but focusing on his family life, suggesting that the weight of these revelations might be taking a serious toll on him behind the scenes. Looking at Bieber's own journey, it's impossible not to view his lyrics in Lonely through a new lens. When he sings, "Everybody saw me sick and it felt like no one gave a it hits different now, potentially referencing the lack of protection he experienced as a young star surrounded by adults who should have known better. The song is basically a subtweet to the entire industry that failed him, and fans are finally connecting the dots. Meanwhile, Usher is walking a tightrope, and the backlash is heating up. In a recent interview, Deal hinted that Diddy may have groomed Usher during his teenage years. Usher, who lived with Diddy while recording his debut album, has previously mentioned witnessing some wild things during that time. But according to Deal, things went beyond that, suggesting the situation got so serious, it allegedly landed Usher in the hospital.
I know, and people know, that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I'll let Usher explain that to y'all.
Deal didn't stop there. He openly accused Usher of protecting Diddy, despite knowing the truth about what happened during that period.
But how dare you say a man that groomed you gonna give him a pass?
This whole situation is a microcosm of the entertainment industry's systemic issues. For decades, young talents have been thrown into adult environments with little protection, exposed to substances, predatory behavior, and toxic power dynamics well before they have the maturity to navigate such situations. The allegations against Diddy are just the latest chapter in a much longer story of powerful industry figures allegedly abusing their positions of authority. The drama also intersects with Bieber's complicated romantic past, particularly his relationship with Selena Gomez. When Bieber reflected on the best part of his teenage years in an interview, his answer was telling,
I'm assuming that one day you're gonna be a dad, right?
Yep.
So picture this, we got either Justin Jr. sitting on your lap or little Justine sitting on your lap.
Yep.
When they say, Dad, what was the best part about your teenage years, what would you say?
I would say, best part of the teenage years. That shut off perfect timing.
Kinda, right?
That was like huge. What was it?
Owning a Ferrari?
No, not that.
Going deeper than that.
Sickest part when I was probably my relationship with my ex-girlfriend.
That's deep.
That's deep.
That was on the list of things we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about it, but I'm just going to say that and we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
The man.
Right.
Hey, truly appreciate your time hanging with us, brother.
Justin Bieber, everybody. Yeah.
The fact that Bieber identified his relationship with Selena Gomez as the highlight of those years speaks volumes about his experiences during that time. If his romantic relationship provided a refuge from the industry dynamics he was navigating, that might explain the depth of his attachment to Gomez and why that relationship has remained so important to him despite all the years and changes since. As of now, it really looks like Justin's relationship with Usher is done. Do you think Bieber's cutting him off for good? Honestly, if Justin really went through what Jaguar Wright and the rest of the internet are claiming, it's kind of understandable. As more voices come forward and more truths start to surface, one thing's for sure: the bond between Usher and Justin might be broken for good, but the questions left behind, they're only getting louder. And if either of them finally speaks up, it could flip everything we thought we knew about the industry and the people pulling the strings. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.